coronavirus, when I heard about it, I was scared. I was told it is a sickness that is coming from foreign countries, and people had to stay a distance apart. So I was scared of our setup in the settlement here.
When I heard about coronavirus, I was really thinking how the future of the school will be, because after hearing about coronavirus, then suddenly there was a lockdown where children were sent home. Even teachers were now to stay at home. So I was really having so many questions in my mind. Will the school really going to open? And how are we going to interact now? Where are we going to interact with these learners?
We as parents, we had to fear, because one, we knew the education of our children is going to be affected.
I was scared. I thought that my future was gone. Because my future without education, I can't live good future.
One of our objectives of coming in the settlement was the war disrupted the education system in our country. So we felt we had to come into refugee with our children to learn. But now when the corona came and schools closes, we felt we had no future for our children.
After the closure of schools, children were able to go back home. In that way, it means children could not be able to know whether there is a hope to go back to school or to be promoted to another class.
It took some time for the government to start allowing children study in small groups. A lot of our children suffered. Girls got pregnant, others were forced to get married because there was no hope that children would come back to school. And others totally forgot what they were learning at school.
As a result of outbreak of COVID within the settlement, there were a lot of protection issues, especially in regards to early child marriages. You find a girl of 9 years has been married or pregnant.
Some of my friends maybe went get married because of they are mistreating them at home. Especially my friend, who we have been studying together with her. We do everything together with her. She got married because they're not taking good care of her. They don't provide for her school fees. And certain man come and invest in her, paying for her school fees, and later that man went with her. She's not there. She's not here in Uganda. She went to South Sudan. And I was not really happy because of that. My argument to parents, let parents stand for us, we girls, because the most special people who needs a lot of support is girls. Because once they don't give enough support to girls, these Ugandans will end up investing them, and they will end up messing up without finishing their education.
When my fellow girl got pregnant, I was also scared because I thought that I will do the same when the school continue closed.
Education Can't Wait came in to support learning. This was an initiative from the government of Uganda through Ministry of Education and Sports. Self-study materials were developed, so Education Can't Wait came in and supported procuring the home learning materials.
The home learning materials were distributed to all the learners in the settlement, and this was able to boost education amidst the school closure, and it was meant to ensure learning continuity so that learners are able to continue studying while at home.
This home learning material helps me because by the time it was not given to me, I do nothing at home. But after receiving them, I can revise them. I cannot relax now. I can revise them with my friends.
It has also created close teacher-child relationship, because we will be meeting the learners as well as their parents. You interact with them, so children also become friendly to us, the teachers, and it has given them also courage to ask him some questions.
Home learning was actually, when we were hearing of it, it was good because teachers were going to help the learners at home. Because at first the learners lost the interest of education, thinking that schools were not going to be there, so they just lost the interest. They were doing all things which are not really good. Others, they have changed their codes of dressing, their codes of even behaviors. So we were worried, and we had that fear that our learners are going to get spoiled. Our teachers are going to get indulged in other things which are not of education conduct.
Home learning distribution has benefited the children because right now, as we talk, they have something to do. So they can not just move, go and play. They have something that can bring them together, sit and discuss.
When I got some scholastic materials, I felt good because when we went in the village, we went there without some notes to revise.
Before the scholastic materials, the challenges that my children were facing, they did not have some books where to write. They were not having some pens. So those were the challenges. When we received the learning materials, they had where to write, they had pens. So that helped them and that encouraged them not to lose that heart of education.
By the time I got those books and the pens, it is really helped me, because without a book, like mathematics, you can't do mathematics without a book. You need to write some numbers down and you calculate and you construct. And really by the time they provide to us these books, I was so happy and I'm able to calculate some numbers with the books which they gave me.
Many children packed those packages at their homes, expecting the teachers to come and do it and support them to learn. But during that time, the teachers were also back home and they were not within the settlement.
I got a chance to interact with learners as we were in the lockdown. We could get their challenges and find solutions in one way or the other. And even we could encourage learners at home to concentrate on revision, giving them hope of coming back to school.
Moving actually was difficult because you had to move from home to home, whereby it was somehow tiresome to the teachers. As I go, I will have this child here, we discuss with him or her, and then I have to move to the other family. I do the same, repeating that same content from family to family, and then making me to be teaching that same content to for a very long time, which I would have covered in the class for a very good number of learners within the 40 minutes, but it was making me to make that content here 40 minutes, there 40 minutes, so it was a time wasting.
So we came out with a program of small group learning where we grouped children in a group of less than 10 at the community level, and the teachers will always go and attend to.
Every small learning group is contained of 8 pupils, 8 to 10 pupils, and of different classes. Thanks enough to Education Cannot Wait and Windle, it recruited very many teachers.
The teachers helped the learners to learn through small group learning, whereby they reviewed the home learning packages first, and then they continue to support them in different other areas.
We, the Windle staff and the teachers, faced challenges, one of which was the distance between homes as the teachers go to assist and take the learners through the learning.
There was an activity of bicycles, and these bicycles were procured, delivered, and given to teachers.
Some of the villages where we find these learners, they were very far, surely. Like in our school here, we have 5 villages, and the farthest village is like, it will take like 4 or 5 kilometers. So we were finding it difficult to reach the learners. It takes long, the distance is very far, and sometimes even during rainy season, the roads are muddy. You will go dressed clean, And because you are going via the water, sometimes that you come back when you are dirty. When I was given the basket, I felt really very happy because it has changed my life. It has also made me have hope with the organization that surely they love us as teachers. These baskets have really saved time in the sense that the distance which we really travel for long, we can travel within a short time to reach the learners. We were able to make follow-up of these learners who are very far. Whether when we have given activities, at any time we can just go and make follow-up. So it has helped me a lot, really. To Windle and ECW, I would like to thank them so much for the great support they are rendering to us as teachers. They have given us basketball, which has easy our movement. Surely they have supported us. I would like also to thank Windle International Uganda for being closely to us from time to time. They are guiding us. They are also supervising us in a friendly way. They are guiding us where necessary. They have also given us some trainings for 3 days.
We had the continuous professional development training that was given to the teachers. This is to always refresh the teachers so that they can meet the challenge. Looking at the settlement setting where we are handling children in emergency. There is a number of teachers have been trained, and we are hoping that by the time the schools are going to open, the quality of learning is going to improve.
Before the training, we could just take it like the way we used to take it before the spread of diseases, because we used to make a group discussion, and which is not allowed.
By then, children never had books, others never had masks, even parents, because we are in a situation of emergency.
The issue was before, teachers didn't know how to do it because it's an emergency setting. And teachers were used to the classroom environment, which is an organized environment for learning to take place. So through that training, the teachers were able to get skills, get ways through which they can help to support these learners at the community level to learn.
In the training, we are taught many things, how to carry the home learning activity. First of all, how to make small groups, because we used now to gather all learners, and they told us, no, we should not gather all of them. We have to make them in small groups, and those small groups we should have what we call social distancing, and we make sure that all learners have put on masks.
Through the involvement of the district and the CCTs, teachers were trained on how best they can support learners during the lockdown to continue learning.
With the funding from ECW, Windle was able to construct a 4-unit of tukulu for teachers' accommodations in Emerton Primary School. They also constructed a latrine, 1 block of 2 stances with a kitchen for the 4 units of the teachers' accommodations.
The challenges I used to face while still traveling from very far, by then I was operating from Wayale town, a distance approximately 15 kilometers from school here, where I could find challenges like bad weather. Sometimes it could rain, and traveling on those roads could be very difficult, and it could maybe in one way or the other affect the monitoring of home learning materials. When I was told about me being one of the beneficiaries of the new houses they have constructed at school, I felt so happy in a way that based on the challenges I've been facing previously, I felt so lucky to be one of the beneficiaries of these houses constructed at school. Sincerely speaking, I'm very happy because compared to the previous time, the way we were staying in the town, a place, rentals have a lot of challenges. But now I'm really staying in a peaceful way, whereby we have good facility like the shelter for bathing, the latrine is a standard one, and the house itself is good because I can get time to rest, no disturbance by the neighbors, and even we have a kitchen where I can cook and even keep some of the kitchen items. So life has really improved generally. I'm very grateful to Education Cannot Wait and Windle International Uganda for their tireless and continuous support they are giving us as teachers. And we promise to work tirelessly to see that we also give the best results in form of education and teaching.
Windle International Uganda, with support from Education Can't Wait, has been implementing fencing of Kakoni Primary School. You know that Kakoni is located around the cliff, and that has been a threat to the lives of the learners and even the teachers and people around the school.
This cliff has been so dangerous for the lives of learners and the teachers, plus the community at large.
We received the funds from Education Can't Wait, and we constructed a fence of length 336 meters, and this has impacted a lot. Before construction of fence at Kakoni, most of the children who go there, teachers have been facing problems in controlling them, because cliff also is something that has made most people think that anytime there will be an accident.
We had very many problems, like teachers were always stressed and all the time on tension, moving around the school to see if learners close to the cliff.
The teachers were all the time monitoring and supervising areas around the cliff, and you know that also consumed much of their time in teaching and learning process. It reduced the teaching learning contact, and this has also somehow contributed to low performance of the learners. This construction has enabled Windle, with the support from OPM and UNHCR, expand the school land. You know, school previously sat on 3-acre land, and at this time the school has about 5.2 acres, and this is adequate enough to have the school licensed with the Ministry of Education and Sports. So the school has also acquired more land for playgrounds for both football and netball.
This construction of the fence has solved very many problems and challenges. Like before, you would find people coming in the school to graze their animals. Like as you're seeing, they are grazing behind the fence. But before, they used to come and cross over to the school. But now, due to this fence, we no longer have those challenges. Only that the school was not fully fenced.
The fence is partial, and you know it is about 336 meters. The total length to be fenced is 778 meters. We still need about 442 meters to be fenced, so that we provide a total protection to the learners and the teachers there. We have also implemented the training of adolescent girls and boys on menstrual hygiene management. This has been covered in 3 schools.
Before Windle International came in to help girls, we had the challenge of girls not managing their menstrual hygiene, and we could register a very big number of girls absenting themselves because of lacking what to use. Windle International Uganda came up. They brought for us materials to use to make reusable sanitary pads, and also sensitized girls on how to make reusable pads.
There has been misconception of menstruation, and because there has been lack of knowledge in how to manage menstruation, and also beliefs, cultural beliefs, religious beliefs have also affected the understanding of menstruation in the community and also the schools, in a sense that some communities believe that when a girl is on menstruation, the girl is not supposed to go to school.
For sure, this training was helpful to us, we girls who are schooling and those who are in the village. Before this training, we girls, we used to face many challenges. Like some of my fellow girls, they used to stay in villages, not coming to school because they didn't have sanitary reusable pads to use. And yet, some they didn't have money. And after the training, we have learned how to make our reusable pads, which is helpful to us, which helped us to stay in school.
During the training, they did not exclude boys. Both boys and girls were trained on how to make these reusable pads.
I have 6 sisters. If we're going in the menstruation period, I can help her to make this. I make these pads even we wear if we go in menstruation. If I finish to learn, I teach for my friends. Also, I teach for my sisters or other person that is going to the menstruation.
We thank Windle International Uganda for that initiative, and we request that they train and keep on supporting us in providing us materials to use to make these reusable pads.
When the pandemic came in, education activities all were at standstill. Not until the Windle International Uganda, when it came in with their program of radio talk shows and radio sport messages, that parents, especially within the refugee settlements, got to know that it is high time we realize that these learners are ours and they can benefit in education messages that were passed over the radios.
They engaged different teachers, not only settlement teachers, but together with the district, they came up with teachers from the host and refugee settlement. So all these were put in place to ensure that learners out there within the settlement and those ones outside the settlement could have at least continued engagement in education area.
The message in the sport message was to encourage them that there is hope even if schools are closed, to encourage parents to keep girl children safe at home. That will actually restore some hope in the learners as well as the community at large.
When that program started, it was okay. Now almost all learners were covered since we passed information. Information was enough in the villages to mobilize and sensitize learners, to remind them the time when the lesson will be on radio, to remind them even the radio station, and even encouraging the parents to guide the learners or to by giving them radios and ensuring that they listen to the radio when the lessons start.
The time I got this message to learn lesson from radio, I went to buy a radio to help my children in home.
I'm happy with the radio programs because now we study every day than before. The teacher would come once in a week, make us to miss very many things.
On the radio lessons, it was very helpful to these learners because first of all, you know, when you're on the radio, you teach a big group of learners who are listening, not compared to the class, because in class you may find you have there only 50 pupils. But on the radio, you had very many pupils from different schools, not even those in the settlement only. They are from other districts in Nakivale and far. Radio lessons motivate learners, and they also cater for individual differences. And a good thing also, you find that on radio, the learner is helped by the siblings or the parents.
Many communities don't have this capacity to buy radio. Means there is some who need this process. The radio is not there because they don't have money to buy a radio. Means they are going to follow this lesson from neighbors. Means like 5 people sharing radio from one house.
The radio that I was using, it is not mine. It is from my neighbor's home. I encourage you to help us, like me and the other pupils who don't have radios, so that you can give them and they run as others. We appreciate the radio programs. Thank you very much. Windle International and education cannot wait.
We are so grateful as the district, and I think as the government as a whole, for all the work that is being done by Windle International Uganda.
We really appreciate your efforts. We really appreciate your support, and we really appreciate Windle for using the resources rightly, and at least for the years, we see at least there are some results that we can show that indeed the project is moving on well.
I really thank you, Windle International Uganda and Education Cannot Wait, for the intervention and the continuous support you have done to us. My God bless you.
I need to thank Windle for ever being close with us as the management structures in the school. They have always been in contact with us in case of any need. They have been building our capacities. I thank ECW for having advanced their funds to support these children. Before we received this support, we had a lot of questions in our mind. Do people know that we really need education? And it gives us a lot of questions. So at least it has answered some of our difficulties we face in the settlement.
Mine is an appreciation for what they have done great for us, because if it is not because of them, we don't know where we are traveling now. And they do great. They bring for us the home learning materials. They build for us the school, like the ECW. I appreciate them that they should continue with that spirit, and let God help them also in whatever they are planning for us, because we as the children, we are the tomorrow bright future, and our teachers, because they struggle hard going home to home, struggling, teaching so that we at least can know something, and I appreciate them so much.